What if every single song you streamed or every show you watched didn't just entertain you, but actually paid you for your time? Well, today we're diving into a brand new creator economy where your attention isn't the product anymore, it's an asset that you own and you control.
I mean, really think about it. You finish an incredible new album, and instead of just moving on with your day, the platform sends you a token as a thank you, a token with real, actual value. Now, this isn't some far-off fantasy. It's the big question that's driving a whole new kind of digital infrastructure.
You see, the whole idea here is to completely flip the script on the relationship between creators, platforms, and us, the fans. Instead of you being the product that gets sold to advertisers, you actually become a stakeholder. We're going to explore this new architecture in 5 key layers, starting from the ground up.
So how do you build an economic system that can't just be shut down or censored? Well, you have to start with a completely different kind of internet. And the foundation for this whole model is a decentralized web platform called ZeroNet.
So how in the world does that work? Well, unlike the normal web where, one company has to pay to host a site on a giant server, on ZeroNet, every single person who visits a site helps host it for the next person. It's kind of like a digital potluck, where everyone brings a little piece of the server with them.
And the biggest win here? Resilience. I mean, with no central server, there's no single weak spot. You can't just pull one plug to take the whole network offline. This peer-to-peer structure creates a level of stability that's pretty much impossible with traditional web hosting.
Let's just break this down for a second. Because sites are hosted by visitors, there are basically zero hosting costs. The system uses these decentralized domains and can be accessed through the Tor browser, which makes it incredibly hard to censor. And get this, you can still browse the sites you're hosting even if your own internet connection goes out. It's an architecture that is literally built for survival.
All right, so we've got this unshakable foundation. Now let's look at the economic engine, the power plant that's going to generate real value for everyone involved.
So the system introduces this really cool concept called proof of content. Forget about those giant, power-hungry computer farms. In this model, the very act of you paying attention, just listening to music or watching a stream, combined with a tiny bit of your browser's processing power, is what mines new tokens. Your engagement literally becomes the economic input.
And this isn't just some made-up number. On platforms like VibeChain that are already using this model, active listening can generate the equivalent of about $1.75 per hour in token rewards. Your attention now has a measurable hourly value.
Look, it all boils down to this super simple formula. Your verified attention plus your browser activity are the inputs, and the output, real token rewards. It's a direct one-to-one conversion of your engagement into a digital asset.
Of course, to make this whole thing work, you've got to prove the attention is real, right? So the system uses these frequent little heartbeat checks to make sure you're still there. It detects if the window is actually open and visible, and it sets daily caps and replay limits to stop bots from trying to game the system. Okay, so you've earned some tokens just by listening. Now what? Well, this brings us to the marketplace. This is the layer where all that value you've generated can finally be put to work, and it totally transforms your role as a fan.
This is where it gets really cool. Instead of just a like button or giving an artist a tiny fraction of a cent per stream, you can use the tokens you've earned to directly tip them, buy exclusive merchandise, or even purchase something called producer credit NFTs that give you a little slice of their future revenue. You can even vote on their next single or get access to VIP listening parties. Fandom is no longer passive, it's an active economic partnership.
And that right there is the fundamental shift. You're no longer just consuming content, you are actively investing in the artists and the culture that you believe in. Your support directly helps them succeed, and hey, potentially helps you too.
So what does this ownership actually look like? Well, what you're seeing here is basically a digital deed. It's a unique, legally recognized asset that lives on the blockchain, and it proves you have a real stake in a creator's success. It's not just a number in a database. It's a piece of property that you truly own.
This leads us to the final and maybe the most audacious layer of this whole system, the treasury. Because if this is going to be a real economy, it needs to be backed by a real asset.
It's the question everybody has about crypto and digital tokens. What actually gives them value? Where does the realness come from? Well, this system tackles that question head-on with a philosophy it calls sound money.
The whole economy is built on what's called a sound money hierarchy. Think of it like a pyramid. At the very top, you've got your everyday currencies for transactions. Below that, you've got settlement assets like gold coins held in reserve. But the linchpin, the very foundation of the entire pyramid, is physical precious metals. The whole digital economy is anchored to a tangible, real-world asset you can actually hold in your hand.
Now, this is where the model makes its most ambitious claim. According to their documents, the system uses a very unique valuation model. And get this, a single, physical $10 gold-backed note is declared to be convertible into a credit instrument worth $100,000 within this ecosystem. It's a massive, massive revaluation.
So I know what you're thinking. How on earth do you justify a jump like that? Well, the source material points to a very specific combination of legal and financial frameworks. We're talking notarized affidavits declaring the value, legal recognition under Utah's Legal Tender Act, securing the asset as collateral under commercial law, and even citing a U.S. House resolution on gold's monetary role. It's a complex attempt to build a solid legal and financial case for this new valuation.
So we have a decentralized foundation, an attention-powered engine, a marketplace for ownership, and a treasury backed by gold. Now let's see how all these pieces fit together to create one single cohesive system. The entire user journey is designed to be a self-sustaining loop. So you might first discover an artist on a podcast or maybe one of those 24/7 Roku stations. You see a simple QR code on the screen, you scan it, and boom, you're in the app. Once you're inside, you start earning tokens just by listening. You can then spend those tokens on your favorite artists, who in turn can use that income to reinvest in the platform. It creates this powerful flywheel effect.
There's this quote from the source material that really captures the heart of this project. It's all about merging the grassroots, authentic energy of independent creators, that's the street intelligence, with a really sophisticated, resilient financial architecture, the system readiness. Culture meets code.
And all of this leaves us with one final massive question. Is this the future of media? A self-contained, closed-loop economy where value is created and shared by the people inside it, not just extracted by some central company? An economy where simply paying attention actually helps you build your own equity?